Hi there, it's Karen here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. And today is something a bit different for me. I've never done this before, but I've been invited to take part in the Rachel and Bella Crafts latest collaboration. They've been doing the collaborations for a number of years now, but I've never been involved before. But this time I've been asked to join in, which I'm really excited to do. Because it's all about the best of British junk journaling and shining a light on UK makers. So the collaboration is called the Best of British, and with the hashtag Best of Brits JJ. So I've got that. So if you feel like joining in with any of the makes that you see and you want to share it, this is the hashtag to use. Hashtag Best of Brits JJ. And the way this collaboration is going to work is that we've all been buddied up with another creator. So all the makes are in sort of consecutive days. So one day is one journal maker, and then the next day is their buddy. And so we're not all on the same day, we're one day after the other. So my buddy is Steph from Hilltop View Journals. She's an amazing creator. I'm very chuffed to be paired up with her. And her journal, her make, will be on the day before mine, on the Tuesday the 16th, and I'm on Wednesday the 17th. And the idea is that we each recreate a make from each other's videos. So we kind of get to know what each other's style is, what each other likes to do, and choose something to recreate that is accessible to everybody, so that if you feel so inclined, you can craft along with us. That's how it's going to work. I'm sure it'll work out amazingly. It's such an unusual concept for a collaboration. I think it's going to be really exciting to see how people interpret each other's makes as well. The collaboration is starting on the 12th of October, which is actually today, the day I'm filming. Rachel posted her opening video this morning. The collaboration runs from today, the 12th of September, to the 10th of October. That's correct, I think. And to use the to use in our makes, we've been given a kit. A kit is now available on Rachel and Bella Crafts' website. It's called Whispers of the Manor. I believe it's inspired by the upcoming film of Downton Abbey. Fair enough. I mean, that's very British, but you couldn't get more British than Downton Abbey, really. So she's put her kits up on the website, and during the course of the collaboration they're 40% off if you want to go along and grab one and join in with all the mates, because all the collaborators will be using that kit. So having said that, I don't want to keep going on, because I'm sure you'll hear the same thing from everybody. There is a run through of all the papers and everything on Rachel's website and on Rachel's video. I will link her video below. I will link Steph's video that she's making, or at least that I've used to inspire me, and you will get to her channel, and then when you've looked at that, you'll be able to see her make as well on Tuesday. She'll have done hers by the time you see mine. So that's it. So I will make a start, because we don't want to keep on waffling on about it, because you'll hear this over and over again, I'm sure. So I'll just put all that information to one side. And yeah, I think I have said everything I've been asked to say. So let's get started. What I am going to make today is this little ephemera envelope that I saw on Steph's channel. It's quite a recent video, I believe. Hers is a much bigger one. She's made an A4 size envelope. I've just made a little one as my prototype, just because I wanted to figure out any pitfalls in the make and how best to approach it and what to do. So that is what I have made, and as you see, it's just an opening there, and it's on a gusset, so there's quite a good bit of room inside for popping in all bits of ephemera, fussy cuts, that kind of thing. It's quite nice to decorate it to go with any particular kit that you're using, so you can put your little bits and pieces in the small one. And it's one of those type of projects that can be any size. So I'm showing here it can be small. Steph's is much bigger, a full A4 size or whatever size your normal journal papers are. But the one I'm going to make today is kind of somewhere in between. So the size of this is it's going to be 10 inches wide. I'm not sure what size it'll be when it's all finished, because I haven't quite done all the folding yet. But I'm just using a piece of brown paper bag, a paper bag that I think came from a shop, which had handles, and it's a really nice sturdy paper. But packaging paper, I think Steph in her video used packaging paper, looks the same. And you can use just about anything really. It's a case of whether you can find a piece the size that you want to fold it up and make into whatever size of envelope you like. So it's a bit bumpy here. I've had to sort of tear bits off because this is where the handle was attached. So all I took was the paper bag and I cut round one side down to about where it started folding up and getting to be a bit of an awkward shape. I didn't want it to be too big. So it's a really nice sturdy brown paper, so I thought it was quite a good type of paper to use for something like this. I actually used another piece of the same paper bag to make this one and just cut it down a bit more. So yeah, any type of paper you like. The size of my piece of paper, if you want to know, I wrote it down because I thought sometimes people like to know and replicate the size. So the full size in inches is 10 inches wide, which is going to be the width of my envelope, and 16 5/8 long. I mean, that's just how the size it ended up. Once I'd cut off all the tricky bits, I hadn't really got any particular height in mind. And in centimetres, that's 42 centimetres by 26.5 centimetres. So there you've got all the measurements of the whole piece of paper. And then when it's finished, we'll have a quick measure up and see how big it's ended up. So really, it's a very simple concept, and you all know how to do a simple folding up envelope. This is not a difficult project. It's a really fun project, and I quite enjoy doing this kind of thing. And it just needs to be folded up to whatever height you want your pouch or your envelope to be, and then the top bit folds down for the flap. Super simple, but I just thought it just looks, it's easy to make, fun to make, and you've got a really useful thing at the end of it. So now I've just got my flap, and I want to just shape the flap a bit so it just makes it look a more attractive shape. This is the bit that has kind of stretched my mind a little bit, just because it's quite wide. It's quite difficult to know how to get it even both sides. I know you can just cut the corners off, and that may be the obvious thing to do. I think I might start with cutting the corners off and then just shape it a bit around the bottom. I think that's what I'll do. So let's start with that, and we'll get cracking. So I have been as this is the first time I've ever taken part in a collaboration, I have been a bit nervous about it, and it has kept me awake at night a little bit. So I thought, well, the sooner I get on with my video, the sooner I'll get a good night's sleep. So that's what I'm doing. And then we'll use this piece. This is exactly how Steph made hers. I mean, I haven't deviated in any way. Not yet, anyway. I'm changing it a little bit because I think the idea is that we all have our own spin and do things in our own style for these kind of things. I mean, we all do that, don't we? We get inspired by somebody's make, and then we do it our own way. And sometimes that's in how we decorate it, or you see another little something different you can do with it. So I'll start. Hopefully I've got those two sides even, and then what I think I want to do, I want to just round it a little bit. I just find, so like I've done on this one, it's a bit more rounded, not very evenly rounded, I have to say. I didn't do a great job, but I thought, well, it's my prototype. I'm hoping I can do a better job on this. That's why I made a prototype, so I could figure out how best to do things. So I'm going to just try, because this is quite thick, it's quite difficult to fold evenly. I'm going to try and just find my middle point. That's all I want to do, is just find my middle. There it is. And then maybe that's the best thing to do, is to actually hold it there and just round that bottom bit to the two halves together. Maybe that's what I need to do. I don't really want this jaggedy edge either, so I want to get rid of that. So let's see what we can do with this. The height's about right, so I don't want to take much off, just that little edge, and then just round it a little bit. Let's see how that looks. Fold, fold. Do I want that? So does that look all right? I actually wanted this to be folded a bit closer, I think, to my, well, it's probably too late now. Otherwise you get into, just see just a little bit of a gap here. I could fold this up a little more, I guess. Like that. Okay. I can see I'm not completely straight on this side. I've got a little bit sticking out. So I'm just going to trim that a little bit. Half of the course for me. I tried really hard to get these edges straight, but it's quite hard to do because it's so long. All right. I've shaped my flap. Now, ooh, that's not that's not folded straight, is it? No. Okay, that's because it's slipped back to the original fold, I think. Let's just get the bone folder on it so it doesn't keep doing that. It'll be alright, it'll be covered up, and I will sew around it. Sewing is not essential or even really necessary, it is purely aesthetic, because we don't sew it together. We just sew it for the look of it. So that will happen, but it's not necessary if you don't sew. So the next thing I'm going to do, and this is where I'm deviating from Steph's video, is how I'm going to do the closure. And I'm doing that now because I need it to dry. And then I'll quickly show you the kit and do a couple of other little things just while that's sewing and drying. My words are not going to come to me easily today, I'm sure. I'm going to use, I'm just trying to grab them, magnets for my closure. Steph has done one of those policy closure things where you have two buttons, and you all know about these closures. A lot of people do them. I have done them myself, not very often, but I actually find those closures quite fiddly to do and undo. That's because it's me. And I like things to be simple and easy and accessible. So I thought, well, I want to do something that's a bit easier for me to open and close. So I pulled out my magnets. I don't use them very often either, but I thought I would because I think it works quite well, and that's what I've used on my little one. These are quite thin magnetic discs. I bought them from Amazon. They're called By Basic Grey, and they come in different sizes. I don't know if there's any other sizes. So this one is, I'm going to use the large, they call them large magnets, or large magnetic discs is what they're called. And they also come in the small. And these are the small ones. And I use the small one so I can't grab hold of it. I use these smaller ones for the little pouch because I thought that would be the right size, but I felt that the bigger one would work better for this bigger pouch. Kind of obvious. So that's what I'm going to use. I say I bought these on Amazon. They're easy to I should simply erase it to find, just put magnetic discs into the search and they'll probably come up. So I just pulled them out and put them on the back just so that I could get at them quickly, because they don't always pop out that easily. And I don't know which one, I don't think it matters which one you put where, but I'm going to put one in just inside the flap. The tricky part is getting the sticker off, the sticker off so it can stick down. So I'm just going to try and peel that off as best I can. Took a moment when I was doing the my prototype. It took a moment to get the sticker off. Sometimes it's the simplest things that hold you up. Okay, got it. Now I'm going to add, it is adhesive, it's quite sticky, but I'm also going to add some art glitter glue just to make sure it sticks down. So I'm just going to put a nice generous dollop of the art glitter glue, only if it would come out. I like using it in these little bottles, but it still gets a bit clogged, but not quite as badly as when I used to use the bigger bottle. Right, here we go. So plenty of glue. This is what I need to dry before I can continue. So I'm just going to put it, so I've still got my little mark where the middle is, so I know I can put my magnet there, but not too near the edge. Okay. And I'll get the matching one. It's a little partner. And I'm going to, again, I've got to get the sticker off. So I'm going to pop that. So I've got the sticker side up, as I had the sticker side down. Pop it on there, so it's lined up. Whoops. I want it to stay there. Okay, and then I'm going to put my glue on here. I'm hoping this will dry before I need to open it again, because I'm now going to close my flap, and then the magnet, the top magnet, well the one that's got a stick on here, will stick to it in its spot. When it's dry, I'll be able to separate them. But that's what I need to do, is to leave it to dry now. So I'll just run it through it quickly, because as I say, there's a flip through of it on Rachel's video. I'm sure other people will do the same, and it's all on the website and you can have a look through it yourself. But as I'm going to be using some of these papers, I thought it was worth just having a quick look, because then I will go ahead and start choosing pieces to collage with. And I have, as I didn't know what project I'll be doing, I only knew who my partner was a couple of days ago. So I wanted to get this all printed ahead. So I double-sided it, because I didn't know what kind of project I would do. So it's all printed. So on this side is what she calls the journal kit pages, and on the other side, on the reverse, are the background papers. And there are more background papers than I needed to use to back the journal kit. So I'll show you those as well. I've got spare background papers. So that's that one. And I'll just flick through quickly, probably speed it up just so that you can have a little look, because it's really. So that's what I'm going to use to decorate the envelope with. Just do a collage. I'm actually going to throw in some lace as well, because it wouldn't be a Karen make if it didn't have lace in it, or very few of my makes don't have lace in. So I've got some lace handy, and I'm going to be just putting a bit of that in here and there. So while this is still quite wet, I suspect, I thought I might actually, I could no, I think what I'll do next is make the button, because that's also something that, although I'm doing the closure differently to the way Steph did it, the button I'm using, if you see on this one, it's a really oversized button, and that came from a different video of hers, and I'll also link that one below, where she made the oversized button. She was making also a different type of ephemera pouch. She's such a busy, she does some wonderful videos, and I've really enjoyed looking through them to find something to make myself. And I really loved her oversized buttons that she used. She actually used them to make one of those policy closures again. But because I'm doing my magnetic clasp, I just wanted one big button in the middle. So I used my, I think this is probably a 2-inch punch for the smaller pouch. The next size up the next size punch that I have is not a normal, is a circle, but it's a scalloped circle, and it's huge. I think I have a big one bigger than this, but I thought this is probably big enough. It's quite a big one, so I thought, well, maybe what I'll do for now, while this is drying, is make my button. So I have already, where'd I put it? I punched out a couple of bits just to see if the punch would work, really, because it's quite old. So I'm just grabbing those pieces. So I punched out a piece of cardstock, just some plain cardstock, just to kind of make it sturdy. And I have punched this from my paper because I wasn't sure if the paper would punch. It's 100 GSM, the usual paper I use, rather than 80. Just I like my papers to be a little bit sturdier. So, oh, it's so pretty. And then I'm going to glue another one onto the other side. And the reason for that, I mean, I could leave it like that, but I do want it to be quite a sturdy button. And then you've got a nice pattern when you open up the pouch, showing at the back. So I've just got to decide which one to use on the back papers. Let's get these out of the way. Oh, yeah, I could, I mean, for my other one, I did use, I punched out a couple of circles from the tags. So this is one of the sets of tags that comes with the kit. And because I've printed it on thicker paper than the normal copy, than this paper, I thought that made my button even sturdier. So maybe I could try and use one of the bigger, the page of bigger tags for the other side. So this one, not this one because it's too similar to this one. Or this one, that's really pretty. Maybe I put that on the other side. So I'm fairly sure I know what's going to go here, and it won't go. I think I might try this one. And that one. Right. Here it comes. So there we are. So I am gluing these on for the moment, but further down the line I will be sewing around my button, just because I like the look of having the sewing around it. My sewing is never very tidy or accurate. It'll probably be very wibbly wobbly, but I just think it adds to the charm. That's what I tell myself. I'm just going to ink around this, and then this is kind of ready to go. I suppose I could do my two buttonholes, or holes in the button, I suppose you call it, rather than a buttonhole. I'm just going to ink around this quickly. Okay, so I'm just going to mark with my pencil where I want my holes to be. Kind of want them to be roughly in the middle, on there. On there, I think. Just doing it by eye. I think they were kind of right. Okay, and I'll bring in my best friend, good old Mr. Big Bite. goes through everything like butter. Check where I've put my, yep. Just making sure I know where I've got my mark. Okay, one. Okay, so that's done. Let's move on to the pouch. And I would like to, what I will do is, I'm hoping now I can open this, cross everything. Yes, it's glued. Good old art glitter glue has done the job. So what I'm going to be doing is just choosing some papers and tearing them up, and I will at some point further along the line I will doubtless speed this process up, otherwise this video will be 2 hours long, because that's what I have to do. But I thought while I'm starting off and just choosing my papers to start with, I'll just tell those of you who don't know me, who maybe have joined my video because you're watching the collaboration, which would be lovely. I hope some of you are doing that and working your way through all these amazing makers that we have here in the UK and giving them some support, because it's all what we all need, isn't it? We want a bit of support from our peers. So I'm hoping that you're just kind of working your way through all the videos. And so I thought, well, I'll just quickly, while I'm trying to choose some papers and getting them torn up, I'll tell you a little bit about my channel. I mean, I don't have much to tell you. It's not a complicated channel. My problem is I have awful trouble choosing from all of these gorgeous papers. So I'm just going to have a quick look. And of course I've got both sides to look at. So I will just quickly do a bit of that, and then I will talk about my channel. Okay, I'm off. So I've now started. Hopefully we'll be able to get going. So what my problem is, everything keeps sticking to my magnets. My ruler, my tweezers, my scissors. Yes, this is a lovely piece. I like that as well. So yes, my channel, I've been doing junk journaling on YouTube for 5 years now. Just 5 years this month actually. But I'm kind of kept a bit under the radar. I'm not very good at promoting myself, or I don't do Instagram or anything. So I've had a really lovely time. I just come on and do my own thing, and I've been very lucky that I've got some really lovely people who follow me and have found me by some miracle. Don't know how. And all I do is I make journals. I know we all make journals, but that is what I do, or start to finish journals. So I'm usually got 2 journals on the go most of the time, 2 different ones, and I'll do one on one day of the week, and I upload 3 times a week. So I'll do 2 of those days will be putting together journals, making the covers, putting signatures in, doing all the things. Don't do an awful lot of it off camera, because I always feel like it doesn't feel right doing it on my own really most of the time. So sometimes I do a little bit, but on the 3rd day I'm usually making some ephemera for the journals. And for a long time, for about 3 years, I think the first 3 years that she did it, I actually did the Roxy's Weekly Challenge. I'm just going to have to pull these papers in because I'm getting a bit lost looking at them and not really seeing them. So that's me really, just tootling along, making journals and having fun. And along the way I usually chat a bit about my family, chat quite a lot about my family and what we've been up to and things that we're doing as well. I've probably got enough here. But to mix things up a bit, I've also got some book page. So I've got a bit of music, some small pieces, and I've got some German. And then these bits of, I'm just going to tear them as I go, I think. I don't know what I'm going to need. Not half of these, I'm sure. I like options. Okay. So, and I will cover up. The reason I put the magnets on, not only so that they would dry, but then we can cover up with the collaging. Collage over them, and then they'll be invisible. So let's start with, why not have a piece of this, which is very, very pretty. And I do my collaging probably a bit differently to the way Steph did hers. She did her layer of book pages first, and then she added the others. I just do it all in one go. That as I use it, discard it, and then I won't need to use it again. I think I've told these off, but actually I think I want to use one of these up here. They're probably not big enough now. No, of course not. So I don't think I'll use that for now. So as my regular viewers will know, I had to change my battery mid video. This often happens. My battery often runs out before I've finished. And I took the opportunity just to have a bit more of a play around with these pieces, take a few out, as one or two different ones. I decided that this lovely image is just too big to go here, and I've replaced it with the teapot, which I think is very iconically British. And I've got a teacup and saucer up here that kind of works with it. So I've just done a little bit of collage on the inside of the flap, and I've kind of got everything where I want it to go on here. So I think what I need to do now is just glue it all on. I have already inked them all as well, so I can just go ahead and glue it down. I'll speed you up, and then we'll come back and do the last few bits. Hopefully it won't take too long. Okay, let's get started. Right, so my collaging is done. I added a couple of extra little bits because I just thought it looked like it needed a bit more contrast here and there. I'm still going to add some lace, not to the top I don't think, but certainly to this part. But the next thing I really want to do, which I kind of meant to do before I collage, but it doesn't really matter which way around you do it, two things. I'm going to reinforce this edge. It's quite thick. I don't know whether it needs it, but I thought I'd do it just to be on the safe side. Stop it. Because the paper is pretty thick, but I'm just going to put an extra piece of paper down there. And I'm going to use this piece just to glue that on that edge. And we'll just fold it up to measure. And, oh, excuse me, croaky throat. And I'll glue that down. Need to just trim a tiny bit off that side. And the other thing is to cover the front of the flap. So I was trying to decide which of these papers would be a good contrast. I like this. I think this would work really well. Just wondering about this. This is a lot paler. Doesn't stand out as well. So no, I think my initial choice was this, and I think that's the right one. So open that up, turn it around, and we'll just draw around it. And kind of line it up. And where'd my pencil go? Right, so line that up there, line that up there. I'm just going to draw around the flap and then cut inside it. This is pretty much exactly what Steph did on her flap. Of course, she didn't make herself quite such an awkward shape to cut round. I do like to make things difficult for myself. Somehow I can't seem to help it. I hope I've got that the right way round. So it's going to be like that. Yeah, I think that should be okay. So I'm just going to cut around this and glue it on, or ink around it and glue it on. Right, I'm happy with that. Just needed to add a bit of extra glue to find some of the edges. So we have that. Now we need to sort out the gussets at the side so that it's got a bit of give when it opens. So I've already just cut a couple of pieces of paper, the same paper. Oh, looks like it's got a little bit wet there. I don't think it's a problem. It's the same paper from the same paper bag, bit that I'd cut off. So just need to fold these pieces in half. Try to fold it straight would be good. This starts well, and the other side goes completely wrong. I got that? Well, it's close enough. There we go. And the other one. I think I had this next to my pack of wet wipes, which are open, and I think a little bit just got onto my paper, but because it's so thick I don't think it's actually affected it very much. Right, so what we need to do is glue these onto the top, onto the flap, onto the bit that's going to fold up. And we want to glue it so that the fold is on the outside. Something that Steph was very clear about in her video. So glue the fold to the outside. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's just add the try and get the glitter glue to work this time. It dries up very quickly, it seems to me. One. Let's take it right to the inner edge, make sure I've got it right to the fold. And there, just burnish that down. I made them a little bit longer just in case I needed to make any adjustments. And let's do the other side. Quickly put my glue on and again fold on the outside. I very rarely do anything with gussets, so it's something I've learnt. I think that's going to be lovely about this collaboration. We're all going to learn new things from each other. At least I certainly will. I feel like I'm learning all the time. Constantly being inspired by other creators. So when I make my videos, my ephemera making video that I do once a week can vary quite a lot sometimes. Especially now I'm not doing Roxy's weekly challenge. It's kind of a slot that I might use if I get very inspired, which I have quite recently. Starting a third journal by doing the journal cover in a way that I've never done one before. I don't normally do 3 journals at the same time, but I am actually going to start a new challenge. I like to do things. I like to do things different. Move things, try different things. If something I see inspires me or makes me think I really fancy having a go at that, I will. I can do that on my channel because it's my channel. And I have no one to please but myself, really. Well, apart from you guys, of course. So I have been working on the Altered Index challenge once a week, most of this year, run by Non-Stop Paper Crafts. But I have realised that what I really love to do, and I have also realised that I should have done a thumb notch. Quick, go and do that. I want to do a thumb notch in my envelope. In here, in the middle, so I can line it up to the middle of my flap. That should be about right. So yeah, I've been doing the Altered Index challenge and I've been enjoying myself. I've enjoyed doing it. It's lots of fun. But what I really like doing is making ephemera that I can then use. And what I've been making, it may not be the case for other people, I haven't been making anything actually usable for me. So fun though it is, I'm going to do something else, probably from next week. And I'm going to join in with Amy at Crafty Cat's 50 Stack Challenge, and I'm sure many of you have done the same, have followed her, done it yourself possibly. But I fancy the new one because she's going to be making some Christmas ephemera, and that's always a fun thing to do. So from next week, providing I get my video made, I'm going to be doing that on a Monday. I think it's going to be my Monday video. And I will put aside my journal, my autumn journal, for a little while until one of my other journals is finished and I can slot it back into one of those days. So I just want to do it all. I want to do everything at the moment. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, now I'm really cross with myself. I shouldn't have glued that in. I wonder if I can undo it yet. I haven't sewn. I said I was going to sew around it. I absolutely was determined to sew around it. And now I've gone and glued it. Okay, so quick change of plan. That wasn't what I meant to do. But I'm going to do something else, which is something that possibly you could do if you like the look of sewing and don't want to do it yourself or don't have a sewing machine or whatever. I am going to sew, still going to sew around my flap because I really want to do that. And I'm going to sew around my button. So I'll go and disappear and do that in a moment, and I'll be right back. But for around the main part here, I'm going to use my black soot distress marker and do some faux stitching. That's the word. Which end do I need? That end. I'm going to do a little bit of faux stitching all around this just to get that look. And I'm very cross with myself. But that's what happens when you're trying to talk and explain and craft. That's what happens to me all the time. So I'm not going to go along the bottom because I'm going to put some lace there, but I'm going to go around the other three sides. Right, it's not very dark, but I didn't really want it to be too dark. I could have used a darker black pen, but I thought it would be just a little bit of soft stitching. That would be fine. But now I'm going to go around here and round my button, and I'll be right back. Right, so I have now sewn around my flap. Pretty wobbly as usual, but I like that it gives it that bit of finish. I'd have liked that all the way around, but so be it. And I have sewn around my button. Unfortunately, I wasn't really thinking, and I started and finished it there. In fact, I think this is, yeah, I sewed it that way round. So that's the front, and that's the back. So I'm not sure now whether I should have it this way round, because my stitching doesn't look too great on the back. Oh, I haven't, well, I've made my usual variety of mistakes. And actually, I'm kind of thinking I like it there now, like that, because I like it against this one, even though it's not such a bigger contrast. No, that's fine. I'm going to take this out. So, yeah, so I've sewn it around. Not fabulous, but I do like it. Get that straight. And then I'm using this. I've had this card of what they call it, funny fibres. I've had this for absolutely years and years and years, and get rid of that. And I'm using that because that was the colour that would kind of go quite well with everything. So I picked this funny thin one, so I've got double layer of it. So I'm just going to feed it through my holes. Yeah, there have to be a lot of editing, a lot of speeding up, but you'll know that by now if you've stayed with me. I hope you have. I do think it's a fun makeup, but I think I was being a bit ambitious. Let's say that, being a little ambitious to get this all done in one video, because I am the slowest crafter in the world. And so I always have to do a lot of editing on my videos, but I get there in the end. So I'm just going to tie this and glue him on. Alright, so they're a bit long, well, a lot long. Okay, just trim those off and glue this onto my flap. Oops. So yeah, it hasn't entirely gone to plan. Started well, but as time goes on, and I think I'm going to blame the fact that I didn't sleep very well last night. I think I'm getting tired because this is quite late in the afternoon now, and I don't think I'm completely functional brain-wise. So that's my excuse for not quite following the plan. I even wrote the plan down and I still didn't follow it. How's that? Right, so I'm just going to pop that there because I'm just making sure these are straight. This isn't entirely straight, but that doesn't really matter. So that's on there. And my last touch, oh, what I haven't shown you, is that as I realised I was kind of running out of time, fast, I'm just going to put that there and hope that glues. I have gone ahead and added some bits of lace here and there, just because I thought you can see what I've done. It's not hard to see that I've added lace in just a few bits, just to add a bit of extra decoration. And my last thing, well, not that one, I was going to use that one, but now I'm going to use this one. This is a piece of vintage lace. I'm going to put a piece of this along the bottom. And that is the final flourish for this video. I have to say thank you, Steph, for your wonderful inspiration. I hope in my own bumbling way I've done you justice. Done justice to your lovely make. And with inspiration from more than one of your videos. So that can't be bad. And I may have overdone it as far as embellishing goes, but then that's what I do. And why not? Just it takes me a little while. So there we are, a bit of lace on the bottom. That is my make, inspired by Steph at Hillview Top Journals. Sorry, Steph. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy having a go. I think it's a fun thing to have. So this will be quite good for when for my tags and journal cards and those kind of things, the slightly bigger pieces. And then I've got the first one I made, which is this one, which I might use for the fussy cats. So they are my two makes. It's my prototype, my little one, and this is today's bigger one. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Please do go and visit everybody in the collaboration. If you can, I know time is tight for everybody, but if you can wander around, even in your own time, even if you take till Christmas, have a look at everybody's make. Everybody here is working really hard to make something for you, and I hope you enjoy the collaboration. Bye for now.